What I have here is transparent dishwashing liquid soap, and I made it using just two ingredients. Majority of times I get questions like, can I make dishwashing liquid soap with just two ingredients? And in this video today, I'll be answering your question. Is it possible to make dishwashing liquid soap with just two ingredients? And also, is it safe to use? So if you want to learn about all this, just watch this video to the end. Now, without wasting much of your time, let's get down to business. Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So majority of times I get questions like, can I make my liquid soap using just two ingredients? And today we'll be learning that how possible it is to make liquid soap using just two ingredients. Is it possible? Now we're going to get our answer at the end of this video, so please watch till the end. So to make our two ingredient liquid soap, the first ingredient you need is SLS. So you can either call it SLS or you can call it SLS rice. And the full meaning of SLS is sodium lauryl sulfate. Sodium lauryl sulfate. So for the SLS, we're using 200 grams. Now, like I always say, if you don't have measuring scale, when getting your ingredients, please tell them to give you the exact measurement for each chemical. So now after measuring out the SLS, the next thing you need is a mixing bowl, and also you need water. So we'll be using 3000 ml of water, and 3000 ml of water is the same as 3 liters of water. So you can either call it 3 liters or you can call it 3000 ml. So for this, we'll be using 2000 ml out of the 3 liters. So out of the 3 liters, we're using 2 liters to dissolve our SLS. Now when you pour the SLS, stir to dissolve. You can stir it for like a minute or two to dissolve, and after that you can leave it to settle until you have a clear solution. Don't make the mistake of pouring your SLS into water and leaving it to dissolve on its own. Always make sure to stir it just the way you're seeing it in the video. Just gently stir until everything is dissolved. Then you can leave it to settle on its own. So that's it. So after you're done dissolving the SLS, you can set it aside and then move on to the next step. For the next step, you'll be needing sodium sulfate. You can either use sodium sulfate or you can use sodium chloride. And sodium chloride is our normal table salt, which is our cooking salt. So you can either use sodium sulfate or you can use our cooking salt, our edible salt. So the remaining 1 liter, you're going to pour it into a bowl. That is what we are going to use to dissolve our sodium sulfate. Now for this sodium sulfate, you can use between 350 grams to 500 grams. Between 350 grams to 500 grams. So if after using up the 350 grams and you don't get exactly what you want, you can measure like 50 grams and add. And if that is still not enough, you can measure another 50 grams until you get the consistency. So I believe from 350 grams to 500 grams should give you enough viscosity. So the major reason of using this sodium sulfate here is to help to thicken this solution, which is the SLS solution, and also it will help to add extra cleaning effect to the soap. So, but please do not add the 500 grams at once. Start with the 350 grams. And when you add it, you don't get enough thickness. You can dissolve another 100 grams or 50 grams. And also make sure you run a little test before you pour it into the main product. That is to say, after dissolving the sodium sulfate, you leave it to settle. Then you can fetch a little bit of the soap or the solution. Then add a little bit of the sodium sulfate solution, mix. And if that gives you thickness, that means you are good to go. That means you can pour it into the main product. And this is to avoid you adding too much. When it comes to adding salt in liquid soap, it's more like science. If you add too much, it's going to make your soap watery. And if you add less, if you don't add enough, it's still going to make it watery. So you have to make sure you work with the right measurement. So when you add it and you don't get enough thickness, you can go on and add more, but do not pour all at once. Just run test to make sure that when you add more, it's going to give you more thickness, and also to know if I've actually added too much, which is the reason it's still watery. So that's it. So you're going to dissolve the sodium sulfate. Make sure to leave it until it's settled, until it's clear, until you have a clear solution. So that is to say that you have to leave the sodium sulfate to settle and also leave the SLS solution to settle. Then you can combine it together and mix well. So until you get this consistency. Now this is the consistency I have, and I achieved this consistency with 350 grams of sodium sulfate. Now let's talk about the consistency or the thickness. Now I achieved this consistency using 350 grams of sodium sulfate. Now another thing you should know is that I used treated water, which is purified water. So there are chances that if you use regular water, which is normal water, that 350 grams might not be enough to give you this consistency. So that goes to say that you can use between 350 grams to 500 grams. So that's it. So now you're going to cover it, leave it for 24 hours, or you can leave it for like 15 hours to settle. And after that, this is what we have. Now you can see it's actually clear and transparent. Of course, it's going to be transparent. I mean, it's just 2 ingredient liquid soap. So there's nothing in this formula that could actually affect the transparency. So yes, it's supposed to be transparent. There's nothing surprising here. It's just 2 ingredients. It's meant to be transparent. Now the question here is this liquid soap? Yes, this is liquid soap. Can I use it to wash my plates? Yes, you can use it to wash your plates. But the major question here is this safe to use? Now, at this point, I know you're already excited and you can't wait to try this out. But wait, just hold on. You see, I'm not the type to mislead people with my content. I always try as much as I can to put out the right information. Now, here is something you need to know. You see, 80% of the ingredients used to produce liquid soap are all raw chemical. Like these chemicals are raw. Some of these chemicals are acidic, while some are very corrosive. So in this 80% raw chemical, 40% are the foaming agents, while the remaining 40% are the surfactant agents. So mixing 2 ingredients like this is not safe. It's going to irritate your skin, and you wouldn't want that. So now, to slightly neutralize the chemical effect, we're going to be using a humectant agent, which is glycerin. So with the help of this glycerin, is going to neutralize the chemical effect. So for the glycerin, the only thing there is that the glycerin might actually reduce the consistency. So you don't add it direct into the main product. You're going to divide it into 2, just as I've seen it in the video. So I actually took 30% out of the liquid soap, and that is where I'm going to add the remaining ingredient. So now for the glycerin, I'll be using between 25 to 30 ml. The measuring spoon I have here is about 7 ml. So I'll be using 4 of it. So you can use between 30 to 35 ml of glycerin. It's just going to help to reduce the chemical effect. But the thing there is that it's going to reduce the consistency. Yeah. So reason I'm going to do this in a separate bowl. Then later I'll combine the soap together. And also for the transparent color, it's going to affect it now that you're mixing it. But later on, when you allow it to sit, it's going to clear up. So that's it. So you can see after adding just 1 teaspoon of glycerin, you can see the consistency now. So I'll just go on and add the remaining 3 teaspoons. Now please take note, if you're using a normal teaspoon is about 10 to 12 ml. So you can use between 2 to 3 teaspoons if you're using the normal teaspoon. So that's it. So add the glycerin, then go on and mix it. So as I was saying earlier, mixing just 2 ingredients like this is not safe to use due to the chemical reaction that you get from it. The chemical reaction can irritate your skin. It can cause skin cancer, which is not good. You always have to remember this. These are all chemical. So making sure that you're working with appropriate measurements and with the right and safe ingredient is very important. So always remember that. So you see, after adding the remaining teaspoon, making it 4 teaspoons from my own end, which is about 25 ml of glycerin, you can see the consistency. So it actually dropped the consistency, and also the color. You can also see that it reduced the transparency, but when you allow it to settle, it will come out clear. Now, the next thing I'm going to add is fragrance. I mean, what is liquid soap without fragrance? So you want your soap to smell nice. You can add maybe essential oil or any fragrance, but it's totally optional. You can do without it. But I mean, we love liquid soap because of how it smells, so it's always good to add fragrance, especially if you're traveling this Xmas. You can make something like this, and you can go with it. You know, you can use it to do all the dishes throughout the Xmas period. You don't have to spend money buying liquid soap. Yeah, you can use this formula. It's very good and also cost effective. Yeah, it's very affordable, especially if you have any occasion this Christmas period. You can make something like this and even add more water to get more soap from it. So it's very affordable. And for the remaining ingredients I'm adding here, which is the fragrance and color, it's totally optional. You can do without it. You can make your liquid soap without adding color or fragrance. So long as you add the glycerin that can help to slightly reduce the chemical effect, you're good to go. And if you still want to make the soap without adding the extra ingredients, which is using just 2 ingredients, sodium sulfate and SLS, you can still go on and do it. But I'm just letting you know that it's going to irritate your skin, and you wouldn't want to do that, especially if you're not the one handling it. If you're going to send your kids to wash the plate, just be rest assured that it's going to irritate their skin. You're going to see their hands peeling because this is raw chemical. So if you don't want to add the fragrance and color, it's okay, but please do not mix adding the glycerin. Make sure to add the glycerin. Is very important. It's very essential. So you can see the color and consistency after adding fragrance and perfume. So I'm going to add a little color to this one without adding glycerin and perfume. So let's see the consistency as well. So that's just the only twist here, basically adding glycerin to this, which is really important. Now, just in case you're still in doubt, you can do a little practical. Make this product, divide it into 2, add glycerin into 1, and then leave the other one. Now you can start using the one without glycerin. After using it for like a day or 2, wait for like 3 days before using the one with glycerin. Let's see the chemical reaction that you will get from the one without glycerin. Then after like some days or like a week, you can try using the one with glycerin. Let's see the difference. So that's it. So you can see after adding color into this one, you can see how beautiful it turned out. It's looking very beautiful, but the truth is that it's not safe to use. It's just beautiful, but this is just chemical. This is just raw chemical. It's not safe to use. So all we're going to do is to combine the one we added glycerin and mix it together, and that will actually do. So the 25 ml of glycerin or 30 ml of glycerin that you're going to add in the first one is going to cover both this one, or you can even increase the measurement of your glycerin to like 50 ml. So that's it. Now after adding color into this one, you can see it's actually beautiful, but it's not safe to use. It's really not safe to use. It's just the beauty, which is actually not the important thing here. It's not really the most important thing. The most important thing here is the safety. So if it's safe to use, then it's safe to use. So don't only pay attention to the beauty, pay attention to the safety as well. So we're going to combine the 2 soap together, which is one we added glycerin and perfume. So I'll combine it together, mix well, and after that I'll add the last ingredient, which is very important. It's very essential. There is no way you're making your liquid soap without adding this last ingredient, especially if you want it to last for a longer period of time. You must add it. So I'm talking about preservative. It's very important unless you're ready to use up the soap within the space of 3 days. So if you make your liquid soap and you're ready to use it up within the space of 3 days, then you can do without preservative. But if it's going to last more than 3 days, make sure to add preservative. If not, it's going to go bad. So I'm going to add preservative, and after that I mix properly. Then after that I'll leave it for like 10 hours before using. Now if you want to make this soap, if you want to use this formula, you don't necessarily have to allow it to settle before you add your glycerin, fragrance and color. That's if you want to add fragrance and color. If you are making your soap after combining the SLS and your sodium sulfate, you can go on and add your glycerin and then add color if you want to add color, and also add fragrance if you want to add fragrance. Then cover it and allow it to settle. So you don't need to leave it to settle, then add glycerin, but you can still follow that process if you want. So that's it. Now moving on, this is after 8 hours. As you can see, it turned out really clear and beautiful, and the consistency also is durable. You can make do with it. Now another thing we're going to check here is the foaming ability. Like I said in my previous video, it's certainly going to foam, but not as much as the one with all the right ingredients. So you're not going to compare the foaming ability to the ones we made with all the required ingredients, right? Now another thing here is that it all depends on what you're using this for. You can use this to do dishes. The cleaning effect or the foaming ability is okay for dishes. Now previously I posted video of how to make liquid soap using just few ingredients. That should be about a week ago. Then I got comments like, can I use it for laundry? The answer is no. To be able to remove dirt from fabric, you need more ingredients. These two ingredients cannot remove dirt from fabric. That's just the truth, unless you're going to put in so much work in scrubbing and all that. So that's it. In essence, all I'm just trying to say is that you can only use this to do dishes and also to wash your hands and possibly to mop the floor if you want to. So let's check the foaming ability, if it's foaming well. Like I said, it's going to foam because we use foaming agent, so it's certainly going to foam, but not enough to use as a laundry soap and also to be compared with the other liquid soap that is produced with all the required ingredients. Now I know I'm gonna get this question a lot. Can I make this for sale? So just in case you're wondering if you can make this for sale, the answer is honestly, my own conscience will not allow me to make this for sale. So I will not advise you to make this for sale. You can make it for your personal use. You can dash people around you. But for sale, my conscience will not allow me to advise you to make this for sale because I myself, I can't sell this. But anyways, if your own conscience will allow you to make this for sale, it's up to you. So that's all I have to say. So this is me checking the foaming ability. As you can see, it's okay and durable. And that's it. So friend, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're just joining me for the first time, my name is Gifty and I'm super excited to welcome you to the Gifting family. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to watch my next video. And at the end of this video, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, and don't also forget to share this video to your friends. And now to my amazing gift teams, thank you for watching and I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas in advance. I'll see you in my next video. But before then, stay blessed and keep loving one another. Bye.